Hey there, all you word nerds, and welcome back to the Origins of Nonsense video broadcast, the show where all we care about is nonsense, but only when it's right. Today's nonsense word is poppycock, and in these next few minutes, we're going to dive into the history of the word poppycock and a little about where it comes from, when it was first used, and what it means. Now, without further ado, let's start the show. According to Rawson's Wicked Words, written by Hugh Rawson in 1989, poppycock is a Dutch contribution to English derived from papykek, soft dung, and ultimately on the cack side from the Latin cacere, to defecate. Not to question another word nerd, but those who have seen previous episodes know that we word nerds at the Origins of Nonsense podcast like to have multiple sources for each of our words' origin stories. We just want to be sure that our listeners have all the facts before heading out to the local library next Wednesday for Word Club. Wait, y'all don't have regularly scheduled Word Club? Awkward. Anyways, Robert Hendrickson, author of the 2013 classic God Bless America, The Origins of Over 1,500 Patriotic Words and Phrases, writes that the Americanism was first recorded in 1865 and derived from the Dutch papykek, which means soft dung and owes its life in turn to the Latin papa, soft food, and cacere, to defecate. Yet another brief but meaty synthesis of the history of the word, but the team and I still were not satisfied with our findings. After a little more digging, our resident research expert, Jacob Hatcher, found the jackpot: cookies, coleslaw, and stoops, the influence of Dutch on North American languages. In this book, Nicolijn van der Sich contradicted both Rawson and Hendrickson's assessment of the origins of poppycock, and although the numbers are 2-1 against Nicolijn, the Nerd Tank and I collectively believe that Nicolijn is right, and most dictionaries suggest the word is derived from the Dutch papykek, which literally means excrement as soft as porridge, soft dung, a compound of pap, porridge, and kak, excrement. However, the word has never been encountered in Dutch. Therefore, the word is now assumed to be derived from Dutch papykek, literally doll's excrement, pop, meaning doll, and kak, excrement. Those in the nerd herd, for new listeners out there, that's you. As I was saying, those in the nerd herd know that because we say it about 1,000 times on this video podcast, it is so important to have adequate quantity of evidence to substantiate a research claim. All of the sources we found, of all of them, Nicolijn is the only historian who argues for doll excrement and not soft dung. And we believe him, because Nicolijn explains the whole story for us. He goes on. It is unclear when American English borrowed the word, but most likely in the 19th century, as an expression such as "zo finge als Gmelin Popstront" is more typical of the critical 19th century than the 17th, when religion played such a prominent role in society that deeply religious people were unlikely to be targets of scorn. While the Dutch word poppestront or poppykek were certainly regarded as vulgar in the 19th century, English speakers did not grasp the literal meaning, allowing the expression to spread much more widely in American English than in Dutch. Now you may be thinking, wait, what is "zo finge als Germestront"? And what does that have to do with the word poppycock? and religion, apparently? We thought it means doll excrement. So why is Nicoline talking about church? Alright, we'll slow it down. Nicoline explains. Stront and kak are synonyms, and there's a Dutch expression, zo fijn als Germanlon stront, which literally means as fine as powdered doll excrement, that is used to refer to a deeply religious person. The Frisian equivalent of Hij is sa fi as papistront, which means he is devout as shit, ultra-orthodox, and a bit of a hypocrite. Whoa, no wonder poppycock became popular in English rather than Dutch. Nicoline goes on. The fact that this meaning was not immediately apparent is clear from the fact that the Lincoln Snacks Company marketed a well-known glazed popcorn variety under the trademark name Poppycock. Gross. I'm sure that popcorn vendor had no idea he was selling poop corn. Get it? No one? Whatever, that joke killed with the elementary school, but it's fine. Anyways, final questions that have yet to be answered. How did poppycock or popstront become poppycock? And what does any of this have to do with nonsense? Nicoline goes on. The word poppycock underwent the normal phonetical change in American English, from an inkek being changed into O, as in boss, and the Y becoming the linking phoneme, comparing it kind of like pancake. So it went from pappycock to poppycock. So, one down, one to go. Popstront exists in Dutch dialects also as the meaning of big fuss or overdone kindness, being the meaning of popstrungisting in the dialect of Limburg. Similarly, what in popstront means what a fuss, which may easily become what nonsense. Ah, yes. Everything comes full circle. And, like every other word on this show, every source confirms that the current definition of the word poppycock is nonsense. Thank you for tuning in to this week's broadcast. We will see you in the next show next week. As you start tuning out, here are a few uses of the word poppycock throughout history, starting with the first ever recorded usage in 1965 by a man named Charles Brown in his story Artemus Ward, His Travels. 1865. You won't be able to find another pack of poppycock gobblers as the present Congress of the United States. In 1890. All their alleged wealth and responsibility is poppycock. 1904. Bosh! Cried the lawyer. Poppycock! The cynics sneered, and the court ruled out the cases. 1963. Senator James J. Irving Jr. called the Nixon administration's offer to have its highly ranked members testify before the Senate Watergate Committee, but only in non-public sessions, executive poppycock. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next show.